I'm seeing a lot of you in the comment section, and actually a lot of people out in the wilderness bringing these Ryobi tools with them to the campsite. We're talking lights and fans and even pressure washers and leaf blowers. I mean, you're gonna see a lot of stuff today. And it's kind of got me wondering, is this something that will actually benefit you and I in our camping styles? Or is this just another trend? Well, primarily I'm using this for the bikes, for the kids' balls, airing up all the toys on site. What this is really brought out for is those tire emergencies. I'm a half hour from the Canadian border and look at this. Can you hear this? Can you see this? This is why power tools in the field kind of makes sense. It's one simple battery that works for the entire ecosystem of tools attached to one really small tool. This is not a Ryobi fanboy video. None of these items are sponsored, but I am already seeing the value in this budget ecosystem. I probably should note, this would not be the tool we're going to use to inflate mattresses, the paddle boards, the inflatable kayaks. I'll mention that tool in a bit. You guys ever seen one of these?
I have not. And how do I power it up?
So you
hit the DC one.
It's ready. DC's on. There you go. As you saw in that video, to air up this tire, I would have to attach a power station or unattach my tow vehicle so I can get that 12 volt to attach to my air compressor. In this scenario, once this little guy's in, I can chase the air needs wherever I want without having a large power station or vehicle handy. Now you might be thinking, I can just pick up a pump that has a battery already in it, an internal battery. So we are replacing all of this with just this. But as you know, those have to release charge as they sit to maintain that battery. And so most of these pumps, you're gonna leave them in your truck for 6 months before you even have a tire emergency. With something like this, every time you grab 2 or 3 of these fresh little guys here, it's just peace of mind knowing you don't have to maintain all these internal batteries. Each battery that comes out will be fresh. I wanted to like this fan. One of the problems we have at site is just still air. So what sets this fan apart? Obviously, the battery system. Another thing is it's got a really nice swiveling head to get all those angles from the same position. And then the last thing is it has a clip to mount this basically anywhere you want it. So here's the first problem. It doesn't quite clip anywhere you want it because it's not the strongest clip. How do I know that? This is one of my old favorite fans. Where I couldn't clip it here, completely solid. And this fan has the ability to oscillate. Unfortunately, it is 12 volt though. I also have another fan. Here is my other fan that I thought would be much larger than the Ryobi. With the battery out, the Ryobi, I would say, is still probably bigger than this fan. And there's a difference in how these fans blow air. Both of these fans have multiple settings. This has 2. This has 3. This fan, at its loudest setting, and this fan at its loudest setting, when I measured a week ago, have the same output of air. But you might not even be able to hear this fan right now. Let me turn this one off. Now I'll turn this one back on. This fan is much more turbulent air. Maybe that's good for bugs. It disturbs the air a bit, but the Ryobi fanboys out there, no pun intended, they like to point us in the direction of the Whisper fan. I think that's what it's called. They say it's not only bigger and pushes more volume for groups, but it's a lot quieter. They say on the lowest setting, it's actually so quiet that often they forget to turn it off. And there's another fan. Now, as much as I love making these videos for you, I don't have an unlimited budget. So this next fan, I'm still on the fence. I might pick it up, and that is the Ryobi bucket fan. It takes a 5-gallon regular bucket, you fill that with water, and this fan sits on the top. And what it's doing is providing evaporative cooling with a misting feature. Those of you who know Randy from Randy's Adventures, I met her last week. Her husband Tom told me a story about a guy down south. His AC went out in his home, not at the campsite. He went out, bought a Ryobi bucket fan. It replaced the AC all summer, and he couldn't be happier. That's quite the story. How do you like my mister? So all three Jameses, they've been working on this tire. They're giving all they can. Even I jump in. So there's 4 of us trying to get a tire plug through this tire. Now these trailer tires, they have a lot of plies. So the sidewalls are really difficult to get in. Even the treads are hard to get through. And when you lose air in these tires, that tire isn't so rigid. So getting through those plies when there's that much flexibility, that's where this comes in really handy. I cannot even get this in the tire. I'm gonna start hitting it with a mallet and stuff, but. Now on that trip, I had a drill with me, and that's only because I was going from Alaska through Canada to the lower 48. And so we used this drill to make a larger puncture so we could fit that tire plug in. And it was a huge blessing because you remember these years, all of Canada was shut down. I wasn't allowed to stop anywhere, and that tire plug got me through to the other side. So now I bring this drill with me every time.
So this is a James. This is a James.
Yep.
This is a James. This is a James.
Yep.
Well, I got to thank these James. They saved me. The Jameses saved me
They might
today.
not look like much, but they're good quality.
And it doesn't just end with tires. Many of you in the comment section, you've mentioned once you use a drill to lower your leveling jacks, your stabilizer jacks, your front tongue jack, that you'll never go back. And I think there's a valid argument there. Where did we land? Well, we've tried it. For our family and not taking away from what others do, we prefer the manual way. There's just something about setting up camp with your hands. Next, we have the choice between the common drill and the impact driver. I'm seeing a growing trend in the forums, and that's people leaving their drills behind and replacing them with an impact driver. And that's because this serves double duty. You can lower and raise those jacks with this, just like that one, but it also can remove the lug nuts and put them back on when changing a tire. Now, I already hear a bunch of you in the comment section screaming and saying, leave your drills at home, they're too loud. A drill like this, a common drill, when somebody pulls next to you and uses this, it's so quiet you may not even hear it. But it's this impact drill. This impact driver makes a lot of noise out there. So I'm not saying don't take it out. I'm just saying be mindful. There may be neighbors that you have that aren't so appreciative of this tool. For this next one, it's rare for me to find USB outlets to charge my phone, or a 12-volt port, or an AC adapter somewhere that's easy to get to. It's either tucked back in your trailer, or you're hauling out one of these larger power stations. That's where the Ryobi inverter really comes in nicely. Look how small this is. And even with this battery, it is much smaller than your standard power station. For such a small little item, it does everything I need this to do. When I'm out camping, I just need to charge my phones, recharge my headlamps, and charge this camera's battery. All of that can be done on this at 150 watt output with an AC port, 2 USB charging ports, and a little utility light for, you know, digging in boxes and looking for things. I'm pretty smitten with this little guy. I've also seen in the comment section, you're using this for a lot more than I am. So I've heard you using this for inflating mattresses, using one of those smaller like flex tail inflators. I've heard people using these for their camp shower pump. You just have to get creative out here. Now I have discovered a little drawback to these. These are not as smart as your standard power stations. When I go to bed and I plug my phone into this and the phone gets fully charged, this thing keeps putting out power. And by the morning, you're going to deplete your batteries. Now I know camping is supposed to be dirty, but a vacuum can make quick work out here. Well, this, obviously, just like the rest of the system, I can go anywhere with it. Now let's just start off. This is not the best vacuum from Ryobi. It's just the cheapest. If you were to do all the things I'm going to explain with this, it will take you forever. But it's what I use because it's affordable and I don't take this on every trip. I take it out when I use a stand-up trailer. It helps me get in the crevices in there where people are walking. If I'm in a sandy location and I'm using a side entry tent, I can brush out a lot of that sand, but there are crevices and cracks where a vacuum does a much better job. Now, if you get a better Ryobi, you can quickly clean out the back of your truck bed, the subfloor of your trailer. Like, you can make quick work. This is not the guy for that. Speaking of quick work, so many of you have told me you take this out, and I thought that was ridiculous. There are a lot of models of this, I think. This is for home. I use this to blow the leaves out of my gutter. I use this to blow my lawn clippings, and it's incredible. This has a, oh, I thought this was a brushless motor. I guess it's not. Oh no, this one is brushless. Why would you use this? Well, to make quick work, you can, like I said, hit the back of that tailgate, blow everything off in a millisecond. I've heard people use this to blow the pine cones and pine needles off of a site. They blow out the dust that is in their tent, that sand. The sky's kind of the limit. I know this sounds a little bit ridiculous, but the more I hear you talking about it, I don't know if I'm gonna do it, but I'm inclined to think about it. How do you like that? I'll think about it. I've also heard people say they use it to blow off picnic tables. What's next? Oh, I probably should have shown this. This is a wet vac. I think for some of you who are doing more full timing, this might be a good option. Again, I used to use a little 5 horsepower at home, but that had to be plugged in. You know, the car had to be close to an outlet. Now I can do this wherever I want. Now, remember this fan earlier? This was part of a camping kit that Ryobi sells. A fan, a Bluetooth speaker, and one more item. Remember I wasn't impressed with the fan? Well, I kind of feel the same about the Bluetooth. Now I can already hear the comments already. It's, you don't need a speaker in the woods. And yeah, I will agree, you don't need one. But there's many of us who, you know, after a week or two of travel, you jump inside this teardrop, pull out your little projector, watch a movie. I call it a vacation from a vacation. It just lets you escape a little bit, and when you come back out here, you're ready to go for another couple of weeks. Or there's some of you who are out in the morning and you use this to have a little pep me up, you know, and you're out boondocking. There's no one around. You're not infringing on anyone. Don't feel bad for carrying one of these speakers. But is this the speaker for the job?
Power on.
I compared this to all the Bluetooth speakers I own at home. Now, you know I do carry some nice gear, so the top end ones, there was like no comparison. But even my lower $20 Bluetooth speakers, maybe 10 on sale, this was right there with them, maybe even less. Very thin sound. It does get decently loud, like you'd be able to play a movie for your family outside or inside, but this is about as poor sound quality as you can get. So the only benefit obviously is it's on this battery system, but you can get something like this that's a speaker, it's a light, it's a power station. I think there's definitely better options. As harsh as I am on this, there's a reason why you guys tell me you love this little kit. And I should defend it here a little bit. It's this size. When you get a Bluetooth speaker this small, and again, size matters for small camper living, the battery won't last the whole length of a movie. This one is going to go, and if it didn't, you just keep adding Ryobi batteries from the system. Now you can see this is pretty small. And you add a battery to it, and it's still pretty small. And the beauty of this light is, while small, supposedly it is 400 lumens. I don't know. Maybe all this diffusion is making it not seem that bright, but that doesn't seem like anywhere near 400. But it is bright. So there is one thing I really like about this light, and that's that it shoots light upward. Most of these lights, they're designed for ambience, so they're shooting that light down so it doesn't get in our eyes. I'm pretty tough on my trailers. I've nicked the wires under them many times, and so I'm under there in the dark patching things up, and having something like this is very priceless actually. But it also works pretty well because it has a dim function that is extremely dim. And that allows me to get my clothes off, get ready for bed, all while maybe May's in there sleeping and not even bothering her. But that's about where the positives end for me. Spectrum of light is really important. Obviously this is daylight, this is amber. With a click of the button, this can turn into a utility light. And then when I want to eat a meal or read a book, I'm back to this nice colored light. This guy, I'm looking into the sun all night long. In 2025, I want a light that can do it all. I don't want to carry multiple lights to do multiple functions. The next Ryobi product is the Ryobi Bug Zapper. And again, due to budget, I was not able to pick it up. But I've heard from scientific communities that these zappers are not efficient at killing small biting insects, especially mosquitoes. But yet from you guys, I've heard from many of you in the comments and in the forums that you are using these bug zappers at camp. So are they getting rid of the mosquitoes?
And also new to the market, we have our new high volume inflator.
I have a handful of stuff for you here. I said I would come back to that inflator. We talked about tire inflation, but now it's large volume inflation. When I started this, it was a hand pump or a foot pump. The issue when you're filling a large mattress or your paddleboard or your inflatable kayak is that this not only takes a ton of time, so you can't run around setting up camp if this is the priority, it also takes a lot of energy. So I upgraded. The first upgrade was this guy. This lets you set your PSI to whatever that paddleboard needs and just walk away. This will turn off when it hits that PSI, no overinflation, no nannying. But the issue I came across, now I've owned this for almost 5 years or so, 6 years, I need to be tied in to my tow vehicle or the battery on my camper or some sort of power station. So if I want to haul that paddleboard on a backpack into the woods, down to the river, this was a little bit difficult. So the next upgrade was this from Swander. Same system, same idea, it just has an internal battery. Now I can take this anywhere and don't need any source of power with me. And that's the beauty of these Ryobi inflators for your mattresses, paddleboards, and other things. You're using a standard Ryobi battery, you can take it wherever you want, and then get things done at camp simultaneously as it's inflating the toys and fun things for your kids. I don't take this out camping with me, but I use it a lot. It's for when somebody brings a trailer for me to film, if I do a walkthrough of their trailer or do a review. Nobody so far, when I asked them if they want me to clean their trailer, has said no. But who's it for? Who would use this out here? Well, obviously it'd be somebody full-time. If you're full-timing, you're going to need to clean off your trailer from time to time. You're going to need to clean off your tow vehicle. This is simple. It packs very small, breaks down easy to carry, runs off of a simple battery. Water can be grabbed from the creek. And if you're not full-timing, I think people would still benefit who are in really muddy, dirty climates, who do a lot of outdoor cooking or working around the trailer. Once these trailers are covered with mud and you're rubbing up against them, you might wish you did have something like this. And yeah, you could scrub it down instead of using something like this. But if you have a custom paint job or an aluminum sided trailer, you might want to use something like this just to avoid the scratches.
And I like how this easily fits in this little bag. I mean, this thing is tiny.
At this point, you can see I'm pretty invested.
If you found some gems in this video, I guarantee you'll find even better ones in this playlist right here. It's all our videos of how to be more comfortable at the campsite, because ultimately we're only as comfortable as the least comfortable person who's out with us.